library. Do
You
you know
can
where?
see the library. You can't get.
All right. Good afternoon. Good evening. Welcome to A Mother's Heart podcast. Thank you for tuning in today. Today we have a special guest, Mr. Rickie Clark, that's going to be joining us.
That's right.
Our topic today is From Hurt to Hope, a community healing dialogue. And
All right.
welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking
Yes.
forward to it.
Yes, same.
Excited about
See, I was calm, and DLS talking about all this stuff made me a little nervous.
it.
So let me
No, stay calm. I'm
let
glad
me get
I'm
my
here.
ponytail
Thank
together.
you. Right.
Thank you, because I feel like almost like you're an extended family. Let's
All right.
give us a little of your backstory about you.
A little bit about me.
Yes.
I'll start off by saying I'm Winnie's son from the south side of Chicago, born and
Okay.
raised in Chicago.
Okay.
I'm a graduate of Jarvis Christian University.
Okay.
Graduated in '83. Went back to Chicago for about a year,
Mm-hmm.
and then one of my best friends, Charles Mo Russo, said, "Rick, let's go back and start our own program in Fort Worth.
Okay.
I mean, in Dallas Fort Worth area."
Mm-hmm.
I packed up, moved to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
3 months later, him and his wife moved to Atlanta. I stayed here,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest is history. Been wanting to run my own program for the last 35 years, designing, implementing, and coordinating programs. They like to say work with a heart to serve youth, but I like to say opportunity youth. Give me a
Yeah.
chance to give it back, to give young folks something I wish I would have had.
Right. I love that. I
Yeah.
love
So
that.
with that, I've ran several programs since I've
Mhm.
been here. So I met you a long time ago.
Yes.
Worked in the Butler housing community. When I
Mhm.
got there, my goal was to close it down, and we did close it down. There's no more projects anymore. I would
Mhm.
remind them that a project is something in high school, but you never complete. That was a community. So we
Mhm.
continue to do that kind of work.
Mhm.
From then on, I've been working as a consultant, working currently I ran the My Brother's Keeper program, the initiative by Barack Obama.
Mm.
So in 2016, I had a chance to go to the White House to meet with Barack because of our innovative program. And then 5 years later, we were in California with Steph Curry, Barack Obama, and I'm still doing that work right now.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I can attest to your work. I'm gonna give
Okay.
a little backstory on how we know
Go
each
ahead.
other. So I originally grew up in Fort Worth, East Side, went to all the Dunbars, but then I dropped out because I had some personal things going on in my life. My mom had mental illness, just different things, and it bled over into me, my schooling and whatnot. And so I got behind. And I got so behind, I'm like, let me get a GED. So there
Right.
was a place called Jesse Jackson on Lancaster.
Right.
When I tell people that, they're like, oh, that's the bad school. That's the
Right.
alternative school. I'm like, well,
Right.
no.
Right.
But I went there. I met you.
That's what we met.
You made a huge impact on me.
Thank you.
And I went on and I got that GED.
Yeah, you did.
And went to cosmetology school and never looked back.
Right.
So
Right.
that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's right. And we have news articles to prove it, right?
We do.
Yeah, she
we
showed me that news
do.
article today. I'm like, wow. I mean, like she said, I didn't know how old it was, like 1985. Huh?
Yes. Pull
And
it up,
so,
DLS. Can you pull up the
yeah.
article?
So the article since 1995,
Look
dressed
at
in my African
that.
attire. I'm like, wow, this is in a newspaper back then.
Star Telegram.
Right.
Look at that.
And
Look at me.
so,
I was really working too.
yes, a lot of young people. I've worked with them in the sad. I mean, it's not even the sad, but it's a good part. The
Yeah.
part that I get a chance to work with their kids too.
Yes.
And so that was our second encounter where I met
Yes.
your son. So
I
we'll talk a little bit about that too.
know.
But yeah,
Yes.
so I'm still
Yes.
doing the work. I always tell people, find something you love doing so much that you would do it for free,
Yes.
but be so good at it, somebody
Yes.
want to pay you for it. So I'm never at work. I love doing this. I would do this for free.
That's how I feel about hair. But I
Yeah.
do recall you were pushing me to go to college.
Yeah.
To go to, I think it was
Jarvis,
Jarvis.
at the college I told you, if you
Yeah.
go to college, I will take care of you. I'll be behind you. So I'm a graduate of Jarvis, and I'm not bragging, it's a testimony. For the last 35 years,
Mhm.
every year,
Mhm.
someone have graduated from Jarvis that I either taken down there or
Mhm.
sit down there. Yeah,
Really?
so yes, you were one of the ones I was trying to get down to Jarvis.
I
I was trying to get your son too. You remember that? But
I
yeah, he ended up going to
do.
TCC. Yeah.
Yes. Wow. Yeah, I ended up actually got pregnant with him and
Yeah.
while I was in beauty school, but I feel the same way. I love it. I've been doing it 30 years and
Yeah.
I made
Love
a
something
good
you do.
yeah, yeah. So,
And I like beauticians because they get a chance. Well, you probably already know it.
yes.
You're the ones that give the women a chance to
Mhm.
be relieved from some of the trauma that they deal with.
Oh, for sure.
And a lot of people don't know that. But if you got somebody rubbing your hair or doing your nails or doing your feet, that's a
Mhm.
way you release the trauma. And I
Absolutely.
have the utmost respect for cosmetologists. So
Thank you. It's definitely
thank
a
you.
ministry. Thank you.
Yeah, it's
Thank you.
definitely a ministry.
Thank you. Well, as we spoke a little bit earlier before the podcast, I shared with you the reason I started this podcast was because of my son Jimmy, which you got to also meet and
Yeah.
teach and everything. He passed away from an overdose.
Right.
And so I wanted to create a space where anyone could come on and talk about grief, about loss, just community, because I
Right.
feel like there's not a place for that.
It's not.
And since 2021 when he passed away, I deal with my own grief
Okay.
and I go to grief counseling, and also try to help others because people ask me all the time. Even earlier, I was talking to a friend, Sheree, how do you deal with it? And I just like it's a God thing.
Right.
It's an inner strength
Right.
because there's some days that it's unbearable and there's some days I just push through and I just give it to God. I can't give you an answer why it happened, but
Uh-huh.
it did happen and I have to live after.
That's right.
So
Well, oftentimes when I hear this, it's trauma.
very.
And we don't have a name for it. At
Hmm.
one time, we didn't have a name for it, but right now there's a name for it. It's called trauma,
Okay.
and those are some experiences that happen that can affect you for the rest of your life,
Yes.
right? And I didn't know about it either. But there's
Hmm.
also what we talk about epigenetics. A lot of that stuff can be passed down from one generation to the next. But the fact that you're getting help for it and started dealing with it
Yes.
helps you relieve because if you don't, you
Yeah.
end up passing it on to your kids and don't even know you passing it on to your kids. When you
Yeah.
think about trauma, oftentimes it can be something that can happen. It didn't even happen to you, but it happened to
Yes.
your sister or happened to your brother
Right.
or happened in the room. Or you see
Hmm.
young people like, hey, he didn't even rape me. He raped my sister, but I'm affected by it.
Sure.
Right. Or he didn't shoot me. He shot my brother. I'm affected by it.
Right.
Or he committed suicide and it didn't do me, but I'm affected by it. That's
Hmm.
trauma. And when we
Yeah.
don't address the trauma address you.
Oh, for sure.
Right. So I'm glad that you do that. You're going here. But if you look at you and
Hmm.
the way you talk and your mannerism, people wouldn't even know that you're dealing with it.
No.
Right.
Yes.
So I think that that's important. I'm glad that you have a space here for that. I always tell people I don't really need a safe space. I think we need a brave space. And the
Okay.
reason I say that is because safe from what? I'm still running from her. I need a
Mhm.
brave space where I can be myself. Don't
True.
have to worry about safety or anything like that.
Right.
And brave spaces give you the opportunity to speak, right? To
Hmm.
get that things out. And I think I said to you earlier,
Hmm.
as a cosmetologist, you're helping with the trauma. Just
Yes.
being there to give them to release it. I read this book called In My Grandmother's Hands.
Mm.
And in that book, it talks about trauma, right? But
Hmm.
what I loved about it is that it didn't just talk about trauma, it talks about how do you relieve the trauma. And
Mm.
one of the ways that they relieve trauma is getting your hair done, getting your feet done, things
Hmm.
like that. And lots of times women don't get that, but men don't get it either.
Mm.
So I'm glad that you're doing that. All
Thank
right.
you. Yeah, definitely through touch. Absolutely. Share with us a little bit your interaction with my son because
Oh,
I
so you gonna
totally
love this
yeah.
part.
Let's
So
let's
check
talk
this
about
out.
this.
All right. So I told her when I came in, she thinking that when I met your son, that I
Mhm.
met it from you first, but it wasn't.
Okay.
What happened was I was working for a company called YAP. YAP stands for Youth Advocate Program, and they have them all over the country. You might
Okay.
even know this, but it's like I went to their 50th year anniversary a couple of months ago. But
Uh-huh.
YAP stands for Youth Advocate Program. They have them all over the country.
Okay.
But here in Fort Worth, it's called TCAP. So when they go and provide these services for the community,
Hmm.
they take the initial of the city. Like in Dallas, it's
Hmm.
called DCAP. In Chicago, it's called CCAP. In
Gotcha.
Texas, it's called in Tarrant County, it's called TCAP. So
Mhm.
I'm over at TCAT working with your son, right? And I'm doing this class. You'll love this, Derek. It's called PATS, Peaceable Alternative to Tough Situation. I'm doing my thing. I'm up there.
Yes.
I think I did an activity called Pure Heart. And
Okay.
you go to the board and you right up there. The first thing you see when you see a baby, he was like struggling with it, but anything. We get to talking. Come to find out, I'm doing the mentoring. Come to find out, I know your mama. He was like, how you know my mama? Your mother was with Jesse Jackson and Social. I used to be, he could not believe that, right? So I guess
Mhm.
he went back home and told you.
He did.
Then after he told you, you was like, yeah, you better listen to Mr. Ricky. That was my teacher. That was my math teacher because I did get my degree in math. You
Yes.
told him that I was your math teacher.
Mhm.
And from that point on, he stayed with me. So after Yap is normally a 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
Well, his 6 to 8 weeks was up,
Okay.
but he still had the relationship with me.
I love
And
that.
so what ended up happening is like he wanted to get his high school diploma.
Mm.
He didn't want a GED.
Yes,
He wanted a high school diploma.
he did.
So I found a program where you get your high school diploma and not your GED.
Mhm.
So I got the information and Sherry, I didn't remember you.
You didn't.
So when your son told me to come to you, you had told him to listen to me. But
Absolutely.
then I came to you and then we smiled. It was like, oh, Mr. Ricky, that's when you had the beauty shop and I went
Uh-huh.
over there. It
Mhm.
was just amazing. So that's how I met your son. And he would call me. And when you told me that, I was really hurt because oftentimes there's not a lot of kids that check on me.
Right.
I check on them.
Mhm.
But he would call and be like, what's up, brother Ricky? How you doing? And I just loved him. He would check on me. Oh, don't make me cry.
I
Yeah.
know. He was a good kid. He was a good
A
person.
very good kid. Well,
Mhm.
the good thing about him, I don't know what they said, but when he took the test, he passed it on his first try.
Mhm.
And normally when you take this test, you're gonna struggle with either the math
Yes.
or the civics part. He passed everything.
Mhm.
He was like, man, I didn't think I was like, boy, you smart. You need to go and go to college. So
Yes.
I gave him some information, tried to get him in Texas College, TCC, and he did enroll in TCC. Then
Mhm.
after that, it fell off, and I didn't see him
Mhm.
anymore after that. So
Mhm.
I see a lot of kids. I've been doing this work, I'll say, for
Mhm.
since 1986.
Right.
And I'm seeing it, and what's the amazing part is, if you see her, I guess they showed it. You was just a little teenager,
I
but
was.
now I'm working with your son,
Yes.
and it was amazing. I, to be perfectly honest, I knew he was dealing with a lot of things, but that wasn't
Mhm.
one of them. I would have
Right.
never thought that. And
Mhm.
the way we would have those conversations and interact, and I
Mhm.
want you to let you know this, he
Mhm.
loved his mama. He trusted his mama. He respected the fact that she was doing that.
Mhm.
And he said, "Mm,"
You know, you're gonna make me cry.
he said, my mama ain't gonna give up on me.
At all.
That's what he said.
Mm.
And all this is coming, Ricky, calm down. All this stuff is coming back to me. He
Mhm.
said, my mama ain't gonna give up on me.
Mhm.
He said, my mama ain't gonna I remember that.
Do you
He
really?
said, my mama ain't gonna give up on me.
Oh,
So
thank you.
I know you still going through it and you won't. I mean, it's just like, my mother passed. I don't know how long it's been,
Mhm.
since my mother passed. But I remember telling her, I said, Winnie, I want to go before you because I don't think I can make it
Mhm.
if you pass. And she said, Clean, no, that's not right.
Mhm.
Nobody wants to bury their child.
No.
So you think that's bad. Don't say that.
Mhm.
That's what she told me. Don't say that. So I can imagine, right? So one of the things I've done for my mother is I have a plant at home
Mhm.
and I water it
Mhm.
and I talk to it.
Mhm.
And now I have one for my mother. I have one for my granddaddy. I have one for my daddy. I have one for my brother.
I love
And I
that.
water the plants
Mhm.
and I talk to them. Because
Yes.
what we have to remember, the spirit don't go. And for a mother and
Mhm.
a son love, you have to remember he couldn't be here without a part of you.
True.
So you can't be you because a part of you is with him,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Regardless. So
Mhm.
my mother's gone and I had to come to the realization she's still a part of me. So
Mhm.
I talk to her, I speak on her. So I'm glad you're doing this for your son. And don't stop doing it because when we stop saying their names, they are
Yes.
forgotten. When
Exactly.
we start standing up for what they do, we
Mhm.
are forgotten. So I
Mhm.
know my mama's spirit. So sometimes when my grandkids do something, I know what Winnie would have said. Winnie be like, no, don't move that. I won't show them. No, let them touch it again. So I say things and I do things to remind me of what my mother would say. So
Right.
I would encourage you, if it was
Thank
something
you.
that your son would do or something that made him happy, just call on it. And the spirit doesn't leave.
I believe that.
But if you let it rest for so long,
Yeah.
it's as if it's gone
Yeah.
until you call on it. So one of the things I do, I pour libations. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not familiar with that. So when I
Yeah.
go to gatherings, we pour
Yeah.
the libations. It's a borrow from the African tradition.
Okay.
In Africa, we pour the libation to remember the ancestors. We pour water
Mm-hmm.
because if you pour the water go, it don't disappear.
Right.
Well, just like our spirit don't disappear, it's energy.
Yes.
It's a transition from one life stage to another.
Mm-hmm.
So your son is in a transition that you
Yes.
can't get to.
I get gentle nudges all the time. Like I can look
Yeah.
at the clock and it's his birthday, 11:16.
Right.
That number follows me everywhere. I can get a something to eat,
Right.
and that's gonna be the total.
See what I'm talking about?
So
It keep coming and embrace it.
I do.
Don't run from it. And I know you don't. But
Right.
that's one of the things I do when that happens. Girl, I'm gonna tell you about me. I was at Walmart some years ago. So I
Mm-hmm.
told you I don't know how long it's been since my mother passed. I don't know the date.
Mm-hmm.
But every time she would come to Texas,
Mm-hmm.
she would make me a pot roast, which is my favorite.
Okay.
And can't nobody make it like Winnie. I'm telling y'all that now.
Don't even try.
Yeah. So we was at I was at Walmart, and she had passed, and I heard this mother saying to her son, "Get the pot roast." She wasn't even talking to me. She telling her son, "Get the pot roast. Get the pot roast." And I look back, I felt like it was my mother. I started crying, just crying.
Yes.
I didn't say anything to them. I had to leave out of Walmart, walked outside and got myself together, just like she would say, "Clean, what did I tell you?" That's how my mama. My
Mm.
nickname is Clean. Clean, what did I tell you? Get back in there. I'm like, whoa, who's that talking to me? I dried my tears up
Yes.
and went back in there. So you're leading on empty, but keep leading.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So tell me, forget where I was going with that. We talked about your backstory. Can you share a difficult season in your life that challenged you emotionally, mentally, or spiritually
Yeah, I
in your
did.
work?
In my work.
Yeah.
So
Or
you
just
mean,
in general.
yeah, but I'll talk about that even in my
Mm-hmm.
work. Like I said to you before we got started.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hell, you know me. I
Yes,
love doing this work.
you do.
You could honestly say about, I don't know if this man is doing anything other than what you've known me to do.
For years.
You can't say nothing. It's not like I be switching jobs to go do this, to do
No.
that. I love what I do.
Has there ever been a time where you ran across um, an adolescent and you're like, there's no hope? Or like,
No.
have you ever ran into that
No.
situation?
Them the ones I want.
Really?
I would rather work with the ones that everybody that gave up on. Give me that one.
And I was gonna, what do you find? Is there a common thread like with all of them?
Yes, it is.
Because I feel like with my son, for
Uh-huh.
example, I was there.
Yeah.
His dad was there. We were there. He just,
I remember that.
but he chose not to lean in it.
Well, you have to remember the number one influence on young people are young people. Let me
Okay.
repeat that. The
Okay.
number one influence on young people is young people. If you want to save your child,
Mhm.
help raise his friends. Because that's the ones that's going to influence him, right?
Mm,
You said you want to do what you want to,
right.
but those are who you hang out with is the ones you end up with. So for me, when I wanted to help my sons, I
Uh-huh.
help raise their friends.
Did
So
you?
you didn't do anything wrong as a parent. No,
Okay.
but the number one influence on young people, they be thinking, well, I should have been influenced. No, you're not the number one influence.
Right.
They've done research and they talk about it. Music, house, church, mother comes at friends are first.
Really? So become
Friends are
friends
first.
with their friends.
Yeah, so be careful. Yes, if you want to help save your son, become friends with their friends. You ask a question. For me, no, I work through those things, and that's the one I expect. But I say this about young folks: I don't blame the victims for being victimized.
Mm-hmm.
Let me repeat that: I don't blame the victims for being. What do you mean being victimized, Ricky? They had this, they had that, but there's some other things that they didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And whenever time you see a kid reaching out for something, it's something that he didn't have that he needs that you don't know he needs.
Right.
Right. And sometimes it could take somebody else to do that. You didn't see it. As a parent, most of our past parents, we parent the way we were parent.
Exactly.
Even though we say, I'm not going to treat my kids the way my parents treat me, you don't know nothing different.
Right. Because that's all you know.
That's all you know. So
Yeah.
you end up doing the same thing. Like it's like I am my granddaddy. You know, I watch the news every day, all day. My granddaddy used to do that, right? So I picked up some of the characteristics of my mother, my grandmother. But when they come and working with young people, for me, I meet them where they are. I don't know what they did, right? I don't care what they did. Because I know that whatever happened to them was so traumatic that caused them to do what they're doing. Let me repeat that. I don't know what they did, but I know that whatever it is was so traumatic that caused them to do that. You know, we talked about trauma a little bit, but I also realized that trauma is epigenetics. When I say epigenetics, meaning that this is trauma laid on top of trauma.
Yes.
Right? Just like you, just like me, just like him. We
Mhm.
dealing with things that we had nothing to do with. So it could be passed down from the mother, or it could be passed down from the father. You follow what I'm
I
saying?
do.
So when you see these kids acting out and they doing things, you're like, oh, you just like your daddy, or you just
Right.
like your granddaddy. You remember we used to
Right.
say the saying, quit drinking. Your granddaddy was an alcoholic. You gonna be,
Right.
it's a generational curse. Those are not generational curses. That's generational trauma.
Mm.
Right?
Yes.
Generational trauma. So I read this book. I can't even think of Mark Warland. He wrote this book. It's called, let me go back. It was the first one was What Happened to You
Mhm.
by Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey and Doctor, I can't think of the guy that wrote it with her, but more him than her.
Mhm.
In that book, it's talking about what happened to you. All the time when we see people, the first question we're asking is what's wrong with them.
Right.
The question is not what's wrong with them.
It's
The
not.
question is what happened to you.
And I go back in my mind, like I
Some things could have
literally,
happened. So
I'm
what you
like,
can't do
mm-hmm.
is not to interrupt you. You can't
Yeah.
take on that trauma like you had something to do with it.
Right.
It had nothing to do with you.
Several people, and
You need to know that.
like
And
I.
I'm telling you this. I work with them. I was there. I seen you. Can't nobody tell me that you to do all you supposed to do. Somebody,
Mm-hmm.
nobody can say that. I remember you. How do I remember all this? I remember your. I don't want to call him your husband, your stepfather, because he wasn't acting like a stepfather. He acted like a father.
Right.
He was there for him. He respected you. That's why I know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So it had nothing to do with you, but it had a lot to do with some of the environment that he was dealing with.
True.
Right? Some things that you that checked out a long time ago. That's why you was at JCC, at Jesse Jackson and Associates.
Yes.
You don't want that lifestyle.
Yes.
So you checked out a long time and you never went back.
No.
Sure, you never went back. I
I
never
did.
seen you hooded out, none of that. You never went back.
I
You
did
took
not.
that information, took it to the next level. The next time I saw you, you was a business owner. The only way you a business owner, and you had a child, you had another child, and you were married.
Yes.
But you was like, hey, you working with my son? I was
Yes.
like, yeah, I'm working with you. Was happy that I was working with your
I
son.
was.
So please,
Mhm.
parents, not just you.
Yes.
As parents, we control the process. We don't
Mhm.
control the results. Can I repeat that?
Yes, please.
As a parent, you control
Put
the
it out there.
process, not the results. What do you mean by that,
Yeah.
Rickie? The process is being I'm giving my sons or daughter the things that they need. What they do with that is not my responsibility.
Mhm.
My responsibility is to make sure they have it.
Yes.
That's what you did. You made sure they have it. It was ain't it a question.
Yeah.
He said to me, my mama would never give up on me.
Never.
And a lot of the foolishness he was doing, you never gave up on him.
No.
And not even knowing, but that's what it takes. So no, I never met a kid that I didn't give up on it because I know it didn't happen to them.
Mhm.
And then the other book that I read was, and normally when I read a book
Mhm.
and I like it, I like reading the reference books. And then I read the reference books of the reference book. But in this book, it referred me to it didn't start with you. So I
Mhm.
want you to hear that.
Okay.
So the first book was what happened to you, not what's wrong with you. Then the second book started off with it didn't start with you. So a lot of the things that we're dealing with in our life, what you dealt with, the fact that you had to go do, it was passed down. And you just told me, you said my mother dealt with mental illness.
She did.
So I didn't know that when I met you.
Yes.
But whatever it is that your mother was dealing with could have
Yes.
been passed down to you. And you know how to deal with it so that
Right.
you don't have that mental illness, right?
Yes.
So you thought enough to reach out, just like you have in this podcast.
Yes.
Some people internalize it.
Yes.
But whatever was passed down to you,
Yes.
you get to change it.
Yeah.
So when we say, I hate it when they call it a curse. It's not a curse, it's
Mhm.
trauma.
Mhm.
But you get to change it. If you don't change it, then you pass it down to the next generation. I think I'm going somewhere with that.
Oh,
You hear what I'm saying?
I do. And that's what I was trying to avoid. And
And
the
you did a good
last
job.
the last day I saw him though,
Yeah.
it was clear as day he was dealing with something like that.
See that?
But I had never picked up on it before. I thought he was just being rebellious and defiant,
Right.
and it was as clear as day. And the part that hurts me the most is I wasn't gonna come at him at a,
Right.
I'm your mom, and then I was gonna
Right.
come at him.
Like you always did.
Right, but still in a more gentle. He needed
right.
he needed love and gentle. Because I could now. Don't get.
I know. I remember. You
I
ain't
didn't
got me
play.
big. I know she didn't play. I remember. And he knew it too.
Yes, I did not.
And guess what, though? But you let up on him as he got older.
I did.
But when he was younger, he would have not None of
No.
that stuff.
No.
You did let up as he got older, and we do as parents.
Yeah.
You know, I did the same thing. La, da,
Yeah.
da, da, then when they get older, okay,
Yeah.
you know. But I want you to hear this, and I want other parents to hear this.
Okay.
When our kids are going through things,
Yes.
9 out of 10, it doesn't have anything to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it has a lot to do with some things that was passed down, passed through you, and
Mm-hmm.
not just you, but you had a husband, so it was
Mm-hmm.
passed down from what his husband dealt with. And
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes, here's a comment I want to make to you: is that sometimes we have to shake the family tree. What
Yes.
do I mean by that? Shake the family tree because there's some trauma that was coming from an uncle, could have came from a granddaddy, could have came from the grandmother that you don't even recognize, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we ain't talked about it. Because
Yeah.
there's a saying, what happens in this house stays in this house, and it's the secrets of our family that's killing us.
I can't
Because if
stand
you'd have
it.
known what it was, then maybe you would not have known that.
Mm-hmm.
And you may not even know this, but trauma is so deep that we are prone to do it, even if it didn't happen to us. There's a scenario where a young lady was molested by a friend of the family,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then her daughter was molested by a friend of the family, not the same person.
Right.
And then her granddaughter was molested by a friend of the family, but not the same person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knew anything until the grandmother passed. And when she passed, they told the story
Mm-hmm.
and realized 3 generations have all gone through that
Mm-hmm.
because nobody ever told about what grandmother had happened to grandmama.
Yeah.
It's one story about this young man. He kept stabbing people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You remember in school how you stabbed the kids with a pencil or something like
Right.
that? And he kept stabbing and stabbing people.
Mm-hmm.
He got older and he ended up going to the doctor. He went to go see a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want y'all to hear me. There's a difference between a counselor and a therapist, and I have a therapist, and I'm glad I do.
I have
And I
both.
ain't scared to tell
I
nobody.
have both.
All right. The best thing ever happened in my life was
Yes.
therapy.
I have
So
both.
y'all need to hear me. But he
Man.
goes to his therapist, and his therapist say, well, anybody ever done this before? He was like, no. He told him, go home and shake the family tree. I'm gonna write a book about that. He
You
goes home and
should.
shake the family tree, come to find out that his daddy had killed a man in Oklahoma. He stabbed him to death,
Oh wow.
right? It was in self-defense,
Mm-hmm.
but he stabbed him and he
Mm-hmm.
killed him.
Mm-hmm.
And when he killed him, he became an alcoholic because he was dealing with the trauma, the fact that he had killed somebody.
Yeah. He's trying to wash it away.
Right. Well, then what happens is now he has a son, and then his son has a son. And it was passed down from one generation, skipped over that generation, and went to him. This
Mm-hmm.
other young lady, another young man hit his part.
Mm-hmm.
He was having sleep insomnia. He couldn't sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Insomnia. He kept sleeping, couldn't sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Went to school, lost his scholarship. He played on the baseball, couldn't
Mm-hmm.
sleep. And then when he had insomnia, he would be freezing cold, and he didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes to see the counselor. Counselor figured out. They end up having to send him home. Lost his scholarships and everything. When he got home, he went and seen a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
The therapist asked him, well, go home and shake the family tree. He was like, well, nobody in my family ever experienced this. He goes home, shake the family tree. He come to find out that his mother was pregnant with him
Mm-hmm.
when his uncle, who was in Canada, was putting up the lights, the street lights,
Mm-hmm.
fell down and froze to death, hypothermia. Well, his mother was pregnant at the time with him. What that she felt was passed down from her into her son. And that's how they figured it out. So hear me when we saying these things.
Right.
Lots of times when you're dealing with traumatic stuff,
Yes.
it didn't start with you.
Right.
And then from that book, I read The Body Keeps Score.
Mm-hmm.
And then from The Body Keeps Score, it was In My Grandmother's Hands. So yes, what you're dealing with, we need to talk about it. And the more you talk about it, the
Mm-hmm.
more you get it out. Now I'm talking like this. I haven't always known this.
Yes.
But for the last 10 years, they've been doing research. They used to call it post-traumatic syndrome or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it happens all the time, and anything can trigger it.
Yes.
Like this conversation can trigger
Yes.
it. Oof.
I know.
When you said to me about your son, because
Mhm.
I didn't know that part,
Right.
I was triggered,
I'm sorry.
right? Not in a
Yeah.
bad way.
Yeah.
No, but triggers come.
Yeah, they do.
And how do you get it all the time? So when it
Mhm.
happens, what do you do? So what I have to do is internalize it. And so that's what I'm saying to the audience.
Mhm.
If you're dealing with some of that, just bring it in and hold it and sit with it for a minute.
Mhm.
Because sometimes it's just a reminder. All right.
Yes.
We need to talk more about this.
Mhm.
We need to have more people considering going to therapy.
Yes.
You know, in our communities, if you go to see a therapist, you crazy.
Why is
Right.
that? Where did that start?
Right. It has been like that for years.
Right.
Well, and I think it's like that because in the past, we couldn't afford a therapist. But if you think about the fact that we've gone through slavery, post-slavery, Jim Crow, all the stuff that been happening to us, to rape, we have never no counseling for that. There's never
Mhm.
no counseling for that. There's been
Mhm.
no I mean, the fact that this boy just got 35 years.
I
How many
saw
people
that.
go? I know you felt that.
It triggered me.
I know it
Oh,
did.
it triggered me.
So right there,
Oh
you
my
needed a
God.
counselor. Right? How many other people? And
Yes.
they looking at they son like, look, my son, I kept him away from all this. It's a
Yes.
trigger,
Yes.
right? I said I wasn't gonna write no more about this, but what happened to Carmelo Anthony was wrong.
Mhm.
I said to Derek today,
Mhm.
I feel like we in an abusive relationship with this. What's going on? It's like y'all just doing this to us over and over
Yes.
again.
Yes.
It's not healthy, right? So just hearing that about Carmelo Anthony triggered you,
Bad.
triggered me,
Mhm.
and then we don't talk about it. So now you sit with it. Now I'm sitting with it.
Mhm.
I don't have nothing to say. And if I say something, I may be on the opposite side.
Mhm.
So I just tell, that's hurt. That's hurtful. We
Yes.
should be able to talk with it. There should be a place where we can express this. What
Yes.
happened to that young man was wrong. And if we don't talk about it,
Mhm.
it's happening to other young men all the time,
Every day.
right? Every day is happening to them
Mhm.
over and over
Mhm.
again because
Mhm.
we're not talking about it. But then we
Mhm.
want to blame. And I got mad the other day when that boy said something about Carmelo. I said, well, you get us for not talking, you get us for talking, you get us for fighting back. What we supposed to do? Just sit back and just
Right.
let you do what you want to do to us?
No.
What do you do? And
Mhm.
I'm asking myself, I'm a little bitty man. And that's why I don't have a gun. Because
Right.
I'm too little. If you go in there, I'm gonna shoot you, right?
Mhm.
But you think 145 of these 255-pound men and they white and they stepping up over you, what would you do?
Yes.
Well, Rick, we need to teach our son. Well, brother, you don't even work with men. You telling me what we should teach our sons?
Mhm.
My son would never. Well, if your son would never do that, then how aren't you helping some other kids so they son don't do that?
I've always
Quit blaming the
told
victims.
my
I'm
boys,
sorry.
no, you're good.
Oh yeah,
Not to be the aggressor, but
yeah,
if someone
right,
puts you in a threatening
right,
situation, you
right.
you defend
You
yourself.
defend yourself.
Yeah.
And he had to. Well, we had to. He didn't bring that knife to go stab that boy. That was in his bag. That's what he cleaned
Mhm.
his shoes with. And it ain't big enough to go to jail for. He.
Right.
Or if he'd have picked up a stick and hit him, you'd have had something to say. If he'd have picked up a pipe and hit him, you'd have had something to say.
Either way.
So again, it goes back to the triggers that we're talking about.
Mhm.
And we want to go out here and start talking about what's wrong with these boys. It's
Mhm.
not what's wrong with them. The
Mhm.
question is what has happened to them. And
Yes.
I think what has happened is not enough men in their lives. There's not enough men and not enough
Mhm.
women like you who don't give up on them.
No.
Right? That's what
Right.
I think.
Mhm. Yeah. Again, like I said, that last day I saw him, it was just as plain that he was dealing with something mentally,
Yeah.
and I wanted to try to get him help, but that was on a Saturday
Right.
because he had been incarcerated, and then we text each other. Then I got the call that Monday. His dad was screaming in the phone and told me that he was in a motel, and you know.
And where do kids go? If they
Mhm.
scream it out, they get out of jail, they did
Mhm.
their time.
Mhm.
This is I'm here in Fort Worth.
Yes.
And I do work with a lot of young people.
Mhm.
A lot of my track
Yes,
record.
I do.
But I couldn't sit here and tell you there's a place that you can send your son when he got out of rehab. There's not a place I can tell you go send your kid when he got out of jail. There's no place I can say, well, they had this youth program over here that you can get. There's no mentoring program that I would recommend other
Mhm.
than what we did with TCAP
Yes.
and what Community Frontline. I work with an organization called Community Frontline.
Mhm.
And that we mentor, but we do it because we care. Right?
Okay.
Just because we care. So
Mhm.
if it's a young man that needs some help, you can come to Community Frontline. They will reach out to him. They help parents. Don't make a difference.
Mhm.
I'm not biased by saying that. That's the only one I know of. Right?
Right.
I don't know of any
You
other
don't know of
programs
any other
like that.
programs
There are
like that?
not any. So YAP has come back. The same program that helped your son,
Yes. Yes.
they ended that program.
And see
Do
that,
you
and
know
that,
why they ended it?
why? Funding or
Well, no darn funding.
why?
Because they supported LGBTQ. When Donald Trump came in office,
Mhm.
and you don't even know this, my program is under attack.
Oh
They ended.
wow.
I've been doing My Brother's Keeper for the last 10 years.
I remember.
They've ended the program, and guess what the lady told me? It's a woke organization, and you woke. She says My Brother's Keeper sound like a promise. It is a promise, but I want to tell you something, shit. Even though they ended the program, I'm still running the program. I'll raise my own funds. I'm not going to, I'm not, no, I'm not going to turn the other cheek. I'm not about to, what are they talking about? Turn the other cheek. I'm not about to pivot. None of that foolishness. I'm going to still continue to run My Brother's Keeper.
Mhm.
Young ladies or mothers who have sons or daughters that want their kids to be a part of it,
Mhm.
come here and we'll continue to work with them. No, that's what's happening. There
Mhm.
aren't any programs.
Yes.
And every program I've ever ran in this city, I'm not bragging, this is a testimony.
Mhm.
Every one of them I've ever ran,
Mhm.
they're successful, and then you end the program. And guess what I do? Go start another one.
Right. Do you think that they're intimidated by the success of
Yes, they're intimidated
these
by the
young men that
success.
are, or young people that are changing their
Yes.
lives around?
Yes, they're intimidated by that
Mm-hmm.
because you have to remember, in order for you to be the oppressor, you have to have somebody to oppress. So
True.
they don't want young people to be involved. Did
Mm-hmm.
you all know that Fort Worth ISD, not only did they end the contract with me, and I'm not mad, they can do what they want with their money. I'm not
Okay.
trying to put that on there.
Right.
But these schools are wrong. They don't teach, you cannot teach kids about African history in school. It's against the law to teach it.
How long
It's
has that been?
for the last since Donald Trump been in office.
Wow.
All the schools in Fort Worth, the
Mm-hmm.
library, Fort Worth ISD library,
Mm-hmm.
you can't go in there and find one book positive. I ask this question everywhere I go. Can you think of a book from kindergarten to 12th grade
Mm-hmm.
that's required reading
Mm-hmm.
and speak positive about people of color? The answer is no. Can you name a time when black people were not enslaved and empowered? The answer is no. Well, if our kids are not getting the right information, then what you expect for them to come out with?
Right.
You mean to tell me that in the schools right now, most of our libraries
Mm-hmm.
are detention centers? That's where they putting the kids at. Ain't nothing in the library. They don't have no books in there. You can't go in there and read about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey. You can't read about anybody that fought back
How can we change that though? Like, how
by
can we?
doing what you're doing right now. Having
Mm-hmm.
these conversations. You're
Mm-hmm.
affected by your son, but just imagine if your son would have had this information from kindergarten to 12th
Yes.
grade, he wouldn't have to worry about that.
True.
And we worried about our kids, but you won't teach them the truth while you have them.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would do is go in there. Not only do you want to have the schools, but the parents can teach them at home. There's some other things that we can do,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to bring programs like My Brother's Keeper, For the Brothers, Community Frontline, things like that, so we can have them. They're not here, and they are very limited and funded, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I said that about boys.
Mm-hmm.
You a young lady that do hair. Name a program in this community that works with girls who are considered at risk. I'll wait.
There's not any.
Can you name one?
No, I just started a mentorship program. Um,
What if you didn't start that? Can you name one?
yeah,
No.
there's not any.
And then we want to know why kids are doing what they're doing. Boys and girls who think they men and women don't go to Boys and Girls Club.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was little. Well, I was in Chicago. We had no Boys and Girls Club.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see it. I
Right.
don't know where it is. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what's taking place. I would be lying if I could tell you to go to this. The only one I know, and I'm not being biased, is Community Frontline. And now I'm doing some work with it's TCAT, but it's really through Santa Fe.
Okay.
Where if there's a young person, you remember when your son did that, he had to get in trouble for me to
Yes.
work with him.
Absolutely.
Now we
Yes.
have a program that they don't have to be in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Just let me know who they are. We give them a SASE, find out where they are. We can provide service for them. We can get up to 6 weeks of mentoring, actually 6 to 8 weeks of mentoring for
Mm-hmm.
free. So
Oh,
if
I
y'all
love
hear me
that.
right now, there's a
Yes.
program through YAT.
Y'all hear that?
Yes. Youth Advocate Program. Contact Rickie Clark,
Mm-hmm.
and I will help you get your son or daughters in
Mm-hmm.
programs. But they have to participate in 6 weeks. We here at the building. Derek can
Mm-hmm.
tell you we've been doing it now. We teach a massive dose of African history, Latino history, entrepreneurship, and male and female socialization. So if they're interested, I can help them. We just work with them from 14 to 25. Now I only have 30 slots left,
Okay.
but that's what we're doing.
All right. Y'all hear that?
And that's
That
through the
information.
program that your son went through.
Wow.
Ain't that something? And
I
we here
love
having this show.
man.
So
It's full circle.
your spirit is still working, baby boy. That's what she tried to say.
It is full circle. Full circle. Do we have any questions? We've been kind of going for a minute. Any questions from anyone?
Don't get
Not
Ricky
yet.
started. That's probably what they say.
No. It is some great information because, again, there's a lack in our
It's a
community,
lack in our
and we
community.
need to bring awareness to it
Yeah.
because I don't want to see another Jimmy.
There you go.
That was my,
I know.
another reason why I created this platform. I'm like, if I could just help save
One.
one, then
Yeah.
you
And there's a
know,
lot of old Jimmys out there, and you know it.
yes.
And you can feel it. You can sometimes see kids in
Mm-hmm.
different environments. You go into a store to buy something at a fast food restaurant. You can see a kid, and the first thing you can feel the spirit of your son in certain things, right? And you saying,
Yes.
"Dag, if he don't get that help, he may end up like this."
Oh,
And
yes.
it's sad. And I know my friend is listening, but there's another guy that I work with.
Mm-hmm.
His son, same thing. Same thing happened to your
Overdose.
son.
Mm-hmm.
Found him at a hotel, and I couldn't believe it. I won't call his name, and
Yeah.
you know him too, Derek. But I won't call his name, and you don't
Yeah.
even know that. But that's what happened to his son.
Really?
And he's listening today too. Caused him to have a heart attack and everything. Had to have a triple bypass, everything. It stressed him out. And I
Mm,
had to say to him, just like I'm saying to you,
mhm.
as parents, you control the process, not the results. You'll end up finding yourself going deep into you asking, what did I do wrong? When all the time you didn't do anything wrong.
Mhm.
You did the best you could with what you had at that time.
I say it all the
So
time.
you didn't know to say that, because if you knew that, you'd be having this podcast before you had the podcast,
Mhm.
right? So that's what you have to understand. And don't take on none of that, because then you take it on. Now you heavy and now you can't help nobody,
Yeah.
right?
I don't want that.
You'll be feeding from the tree, and now the tree dies. Feed them
Mhm.
from the branch. Just give them what you have. Continue to have podcasts like this. Continue to open up. If anybody want to talk about it, I'm so glad you're going through your grief class. I call them trauma. I don't use the word grief anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
It's trauma.
Yeah.
And continue to do that. Continue to have the counseling and encourage other people.
Yes.
And if there's any parents on here that's listening, I'm sure she'd be willing to talk to you about it.
Oh,
That's the most
anytime.
tragic thing that can ever happen to anybody. And my mama told me a long time ago. So what you're doing right now is commendable. And I want to commend you. If there's
Thank
anything
you.
that I could do, let me know. I mean, you
Thank
the same
you.
little, I mean, you had to be 15 or 16 years old when I met you.
I was
And now you got a
16,
son. How
17.
was your son when he
When he passed, he was 23.
Right. So I met you when you were 16, and now you got a
Yes.
son that's 20, that was 23.
Yes.
Yeah,
He would have
times are
been
changing. And
29.
you did an excellent job. He told me, but it all came back to me when you came in here. Oh, yeah, you remember her. I was like, and it's lots of young folks I've been working with over the past.
You have.
But what you're doing in reference to your son means the world to me.
Thank you.
It means the world to me that
Thank
we
you.
doing that, and not that he had to go through a tragic for you to do it,
Hmm.
but you would not have done it had he not.
No. And even my sons, because I brought them on because I feel like the siblings
Yeah, they
don't
dealing
get
with it too.
exactly. And I wanted to get their perspective and their voice.
And how old are they?
Jackson is 21, going
Wow.
to school to be a nurse.
Uh-huh.
He's going to North Texas. And Xavier is 16.
Oh, I want to talk to them. I knew
Yeah.
their brother. Yeah, I would love to talk to him.
I
The
definitely
one
want you to
that's
meet.
16 was the baby when
Yes.
I came over to the
Yep.
beauty shop.
He was.
And now he's 16.
He's taller than me. He's about six
Wow.
one, 6'2".
Because the thing that people don't have to really understand is that they dealing with it too.
Oh, for
Right. I
sure.
don't know if they had counseling or not, or
Yes.
therapy. If they hadn't, I would suggest that they do.
Yes.
Right. Because sometimes those things that they hear and experience is passing. And if they don't deal with that, they could pass it on too, or could be dealing with it and don't know it.
Yes.
And something else you brought up too, you said that my mother had mental illness.
Yes.
Right. You do know that that's genetics,
I
and it
do.
can be passed down,
I do.
and it can be passed down and can skip over a generation.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But I do know with epigenetics that it can be changed. And the only way it can be changed is that we address it and deal with it. So I just thought that.
Once I found out, because I was told a couple of different stories
Right.
about my mom, about someone put something in her drink,
Right.
voodoo. She was dating
Right.
this guy from Haiti, all kind of scenarios.
Right.
But once I shook the tree,
There you go.
I found out
It was mental illness.
my grandmother
Had it.
had some things going on.
Right.
In her younger years.
Right.
I never saw that side of
Right.
her.
Right.
And then even, my great, and like you
Right.
said, and I shook the tree. So that's why I started going to counseling.
I'm glad.
'Cause I know
Yeah.
there's also a time frame where that can come up because
Yeah.
my mom's diagnosis was schizophrenia, bipolar, and manic depression.
Do you know what age it came up?
I was 7
You was-
years old.
Oh, okay. So you dealing from age 7.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of people, they don't understand my backstory. Not that because I don't want to be the victim.
No.
I don't want to wear that because
No.
I'm not. But it did affect my
Oh, heck
childhood.
yeah.
And I just remember her coming home from a party one night,
Uh-huh.
and she was never the same. I don't know what triggered her. Something triggered her. Like I
Right.
said, there were a couple of different things they put out there.
Right.
And she started crying, reading the Bible. My mom is a college anthropology,
Right.
like you.
Right. Right.
All the
right.
things she
Right.
influenced the culture and
right.
just all kind of things. Great, smart. And then she just came home and like a completely different person.
Wow.
And that affected not only me, our family
Right.
dynamic. I have a younger brother. We were separated.
Yeah. How's he doing now?
He's good. He has
Okay.
a great life and
Okay.
married and kids and everything. But we were separated.
For years.
As little kids.
Right.
you
That's
know.
that's trauma.
So on top of that, and then just dealing with my own stuff.
Right.
My mom at that time, after that, she was in and out. I was raised by my grandparents. They had their stuff going on. So I was just trying to find my way.
And how many other young people going through this right now
It
and
was
have no
rough.
idea
Yeah.
and thinking it's all on them? Like, it's me. Well,
Yeah.
oh, woe is me. And not
Yeah.
realize that there's a lot of trauma
Yeah.
going on around the house
Yeah.
and we don't have words for it.
No.
So I'm telling y'all now, there are words for it. There's a name for it. It's called trauma.
Yeah.
And if you don't deal with it, it will deal with you. And it can
did.
be passed down. Like you said, my grandmother, my great grandmother. But guess what? I'm not even blaming your great grandmama.
Right.
Heck, if it happened to your great grandmama, that was doing slavery.
Yes.
That was doing Jim Crow. That was, and we never got help for it.
No.
Still to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me we're to celebrate Juneteenth. Come on, man.
Right.
We're to celebrate 250 years. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's still happening
Yes.
as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then you said, Rickie, what happened to my mother? And then you said, then you went on took back to my grandma. Then you go to
Yeah.
and guess what? I had a friend of mine, he went to school with me, college, and he had an incident.
Mm-hmm.
And they thought that somebody had given him some pills, or he had come to find out was mental illness that was already in him. It just came out.
Well, I was told there's a certain time frame from adolescence to, I don't know, I think 14 to maybe early 30s. It can show up.
And then you're probably right. You put the early 30s in there. Yeah.
Right. So like my mom, she was in her early 30s when
when it came.
And again, I felt like Jimmy, I think there was something there. And I don't
see that. It could be.
I feel like he was trying to mask it.
It could be.
Because
he didn't get the therapy. It could be.
No.
He could be. And y'all, let me tell y'all something. This epigenetic stuff is real.
It is.
When I say it's real,
it is
when
real.
you see it out there, you seeing people drinking and doing things, and you ask them, you're like, oh, I got it's a generational curse. That's not a generational curse.
Mm-hmm.
That is trauma, but it can be changed. That's the part I want you to hear, if nothing else, because these dynamics are happening. But if we don't address it, how do you change it? You are presupposed to doing these things if you never addressed it.
Yeah, because like with my mom, when all this first happened to her, my family, they just thought,
something's wrong with her. She crazy.
Right. And so she didn't get the help that she needed right away.
They didn't get that.
And it progressed to where it was harmful.
Yes.
To our household. And finally they got her help. And by then it had already transpired into, all this other stuff. And then it was a roller coaster ride because a lot of them, they don't like the medication.
That's right. Because they got to get it leveled out. Right. So it may be too high or it's too low. Yes. I remember that.
So for years, it was a battle of her taking it. So she would stop taking it.
Right.
So there were times where she lived on Lancaster, like those people you see talking to themselves.
Right.
And it just makes me realize there's a lot of them like that.
There's a lot of them like that.
Where their families just give up on them.
Yeah.
And they don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
And they just are fending for themselves. But the person that I am, I can never give up on.
You ain't on anybody else.
Or my mom.
Yeah.
And so I tell this story of she was hell-bent on going to Colorado. This was when she was on one of her tangents or whatever. And she got arrested for living in an abandoned building.
Wow.
And they could tell that she was mentally ill. And they put her in the Colorado Springs hospital. And so and one thing about her, she's going to write me a letter. She's going to call me. She's going to get in touch with me one way or the other.
So she got in touch with you?
She did. And I went and I got her and I told her, I said, listen here, you come home, you take your medicine. I got you. But this is where it stops for me.
Right.
If you can't get it together, you will be on Lancaster.
Right.
I'm serious.
Right.
And since then, 2013, she has been on her medication.
Good.
I don't have to micromanage her.
Good.
She has a normal life.
Good. Yeah, and some of them don't know. And that's why, I hope I'm not telling this. Yeah, I'm going to tell it. I have a family member who's on drugs. So I want to call her name. So all of us got family members on drugs.
Right.
I used to be mad at her all the time because I hated that she was on drugs and I loved her. I'm like, why are you, but not knowing that she had been abused. So oftentimes when you see people using drugs, they trying to get regulated.
Okay.
So I used to be mad at drug users or liquor, but I'm not mad anymore.
Yeah.
I just want you to be able to do it when you don't need that.
Sure.
Right? But they doing it to get regulated.
Like a Band-Aid.
It is. They do it to try. What I mean by get regulated, meaning that I can be normal. They think that makes them normal, but once you start getting, you become addicted, and now the drug takes over everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why they do it is to get regulated. You have to remember what happened to people who were dealing with that stuff in 200-300 years ago when we didn't have therapy, we didn't have a counselor, we didn't
Right.
have those things. How
Mm-hmm.
did they deal with it? And guess what I found out? One of the ways they dealt with it, they sat like we sitting right now. They sat in circles and they talked about it.
When did that stop?
We stopped talking about it. We started going to the medicine man. We started going to the therapist, the counselor. The best way to do it is to sit in a circle and talk amongst your family and get it out. So I advise people who are listening to me, when you have your family reunion,
Mm-hmm.
make the circle. Sit the circle in and talk and get that stuff out, because you can help somebody,
Yes.
right? Instead of hurting them. At the
Mm-hmm.
family reunion, you
Mm-hmm.
telling me some story, but there's some other ones that you haven't even told, that other people that you don't even know,
Right.
that need to be told, that we get out. We need to get as a family, get in a circle and just throw up. Let's get it all out.
Wow.
Because once we get it out, we can deal with it. But if we don't get it out, we internalize it. And remember, we're going to pass it on to the next person, not knowing it. But the other thing they did with this research, they did these rats. You ever wonder why they always do research with rats? Found out
No.
that they have 98% of our DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that? Rats.
Did not know
And
that.
so they use the rats to do that. And they did this experiment with these rats, and they put them in a bad situation. When they put them in this bad situation, but in such a bad situation, they start fighting each other. Right? So they took those rats out and put them in a good situation. And rats who was in a good situation, they put them in a bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
They start doing it. So it has a lot to do with the environment. But the other thing they found out is that when they tested these rats, they had this poison. And this poison, if you go by it, it'll kill you.
Mm-hmm.
5 generations left. These rats have never seen the poison and know it exists. And they knew not to go over there.
Mm.
So how would they have known that? That's the
Right.
genetics.
That's deep. Look at
So
you.
we
You
need to
always
start
bringing it.
thinking like that and passing it down and understanding
I
why our
love it.
kids do what they do. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of it is being passed down.
I love that. Look, we got so caught up with we almost done. I'm gonna ask just a couple questions and then we're gonna cut it. Well, I was gonna say, what are some healthy ways you've learned to cope with disappointment, loss, trauma? We
It's the
talked about
plants.
the
The plants.
plants, the circle.
Yeah.
How can we as a community do better job of supporting people who are hurting or grieving?
I think that what we can do is to be sympathetic and to understand that it didn't start with them, right? To realize that all of us are going through things, not
Mhm.
just some people, not most people, everybody. And we stop acting like it's only happening to me or it's only happening to them.
Mhm.
We will realize that as a community, that's the only way we're going to heal. It's communal, because if I get help and you don't get help and we still in that environment, it ain't healthy for nobody.
Yes.
Right? So if he don't get the help and she get the help, we all die. So what we need to do is be able to start, especially as Black people, we need to talk about it more. We need to understand it, that when somebody going to counseling or therapy does not mean they crazy. That means that if you don't go to counseling, you crazy. If you don't get therapy, you crazy. That's the ones that's crazy, it's not the ones that's going. And the other thing is, like I said to my grandson, every time
Mhm.
you see somebody on the corner
Mhm.
or homeless or those sad situations, I'm not saying you got to always give them money on the street, but if you
Mhm.
got it, give it to them, because you have to understand that they may not have the help. They going through something really deep right now.
Mhm.
I always leave some change right there,
Mhm.
because it didn't happen to them. Let me give you this last one. I go to Quick Trip. This is a restaurant off East Chase, right?
Mhm.
And it was this homeless. I don't know if he's homeless, and he sits out there. He's
Mhm.
not really homeless. He can go home to his mother,
Mhm.
but he sits out there. He talks to himself, and you'll see him, and he's
Wow.
always out there. And I'm like, wow. So I speak to him, and then one day I was over by the donut shop, because he sits over there too, and I found $7, and it was laying on the ground. I picked it up. It wasn't his, it was nobody. But
Mhm.
I went and I saw him and I gave him the $7.
Mhm.
He's like, oh yeah, it could have fell out my pocket. Da, da, da. Didn't make a difference. I gave it to him. That we created a relationship. So I get to talking to him. And as quiet as it's kept, I started talking about epigenetics and the same thing we talking about right now.
Really.
About 3 days ago.
Mhm.
Hey Rick. I was like, yeah. He says, I talked to my mom. I'm going back home. This is the last time you're gonna see me here. He
Oh,
said,
I
I'm so
love
glad
that.
that she mentioned that thing about the genetics. She said she's gonna get me help.
Mm. That's
So you don't know
beautiful.
who you're talking to. So
You
if you're
don't.
asking me,
Yes.
just be kind to everybody.
Give
Because
grace.
everybody, give them grace. And
Yeah.
grace is something you get that you may not even deserve.
True.
But give it to them anyway. Because you don't know. You can help somebody who may help somebody that's helping somebody.
I love that.
Yeah,
That is true.
that's why I do it.
I definitely extend that, and I've
Yeah.
I've gotten better at that because
Yeah.
I used to be very hardcore and like
Yeah.
just
I ain't
why are
finna help
they?
you. Yeah,
Yeah,
but they go and do it.
everybody. And I definitely after
Yeah.
my situation, it definitely humbled
Yeah.
me in that way.
And I mean, it's like today, coming here, I actually went and spoke at a ministry. Uh it's a outreach ministry for homeless people. So you
Hmm.
can imagine the audience there,
Yes.
right? But it was
Hmm.
such a blessing to me to be in there. And
Hmm.
they wanted to give me an honorarium. I'm like, no, let me give y'all an honorarium because you doing the work.
Hmm.
The work is in the dirt. And I tell people all the time, if you don't love the root, you can't love the fruit.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah. So
If
I'll
you don't,
stop right
if you don't love the
there.
fruit, you don't love the fruit.
Yeah.
So okay, what do you do when you're not like what is
Oh,
a normal day when you're just chilling? We're gonna
okay. I'm in therapy. Guess what I call it? I
what
play golf.
you
I love
golf.
golfing.
Okay.
I'll go in golf. I used to think it was just a white man. I've been playing golf since I was 40. Didn't pick up a club till I was 40.
Hmm.
And I go and play golf when I'm not reading, writing.
Hmm.
I'm working on a different book or doing work in the community. And I'll go and play. And sometimes I go and play by lots of times I play by myself.
Do you?
Because one thing about golf, if you thinking about anything other than hitting that ball, you ain't gonna hit the ball. So I use that to get things off my mind. I don't answer the phone when I'm on the golf course.
Okay.
You may call me and I tell you I'm in therapy. I'm really on the golf course because it
Okay.
is my therapy. That's one of the things I do. I put
Hmm.
in the house and I love reading. And quiet as it's kept, you all, I actually like being by myself.
So you're introvert.
Yes and no. If you see me in the community, you would say, no, that's not Rick.
Same.
But I give what I can. But
Yeah.
when I'm through
You have
and
to
I come
recharge.
home,
Yes.
I come and recharge. I've probably been here 30 years, and I don't think there's 10 people in the whole state of Texas that have been to my house. If 10 people, and it's not that I don't love y'all,
Right.
it's just that I need
Peace.
peace.
Same.
And I'm like that. I don't like things, I like everything in order, I like structure, and
I
and I
can
don't
see that.
have it. And if it's anything like that, it's not when I get home.
Hmm.
And so I putt in the house.
Do you really?
I be sitting there just putting the ball in the front. You come to my front room, I got a putting mat in the front room. I got a chipping mat in the backyard. And I'm not that good,
Hmm.
but I love it.
Hmm.
And in golf, you probably heard Cat Williams say this kind of like life. You know, you only get one chance to do this. And so
Yes.
if you don't get it right, you got that hole is over with. You got to wait to the next one. And every day that you go play, they change the pins, they change the location, they change the distance, they change the wind, everything.
Hmm.
And I just keep getting out there. So that's what I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I encourage women to do it too.
I do. I
All right.
get massages.
Yeah,
Sometimes I just
that I didn't say.
oh,
But we need massages and
I do
pedicures and
all
manicures.
the things.
That's one of if y'all want to hear. Now I don't do that enough, but that's what I should be doing. Damn that golf course. All right, thank
I
you.
love
All
that.
right,
So your suggestions would be self-care,
definitely self care. You don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of nobody else.
okay, community.
Community, you got to have a community. You got to be in a safe place. Let me change it. You got to be in a brave space, not
Hmm.
safe spaces. Brave spaces where you can be who you are and take off that armor and let it out. So there's the other one. Give me
Okay.
another.
And then
Right.
the third one, we're gonna
Is
close, get ready to
my
close.
third one would be lineage. Pass it back to the young people. Pass it on. You can't be talking about I'm my brother's keeper or my sister's keeper if you're not helping the young men and young women that's out on those corners who don't know where to go. We need
Right.
to go into our schools, our community centers, our churches, our streets, and bring them out. So to have all those things for yourself and not share with someone else would be selfish. So that's what I would do.
Yeah.
I would take care of me,
Mm-hmm.
do the things I need to do,
Mm-hmm.
make it whole enough that I can share with somebody else so they can see whole.
Okay.
In order to be a man, you got to see one.
Repeat that one more time.
In order to be a man, you got to see a man.
Okay.
So thank you
There it
for having me here.
is.
And I'll come back anytime you call me. All
I
right?
know. I feel like look,
Love
we didn't
it.
even get
All the stuff you want to say, right? We
I'm
got some more stuff we got to
telling
do part two.
oh my, we definitely got to do a part
I am
two.
happy. Y'all didn't hear this, but this is one of my students. She was
Oh.
16. And you don't remember this part, but I helped you with the math part.
You sure did.
You were struggling with the math.
Ooh,
And I used to
Jesus
break
of
it down
Nazareth.
for you, the fractions, right?
There it
You
is.
remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
You
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean, after sitting there talking to you, it was yeah. She needed help with fractions,
Oh
but she
my
finally got it
goodness.
because she could have been a nurse, but she went on into the
I
cosmetology because you had to know
know.
those measurements, and that kept struggling with you. But you got it. I told you how to multiply fractions, and I showed you the division of fractions. And after you did that, you got it. It came back to me.
He did. You know what?
I didn't even tell your son that, but now I remember.
Put it out there, y'all. Okay,
But she
fractions.
got it though.
I got it together.
Yes, she
Look,
did.
I know how to measure
That's
all the
right. Yeah,
things.
that's
It
right.
was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Thank you for
being
having me.
here. I feel like you're part of my family,
I am,
truly.
and I was sad to hear about
Oh
Jimmy,
no, thank you. But
but I got him.
yeah, yeah,
So I'll talk to him myself. I got him. You ain't got to say nothing else.
yes. And
I
I'm gonna
got
have
him.
you meet Jackson Xavier.
Yeah, set something up. We can just have a conversation, a
Okay.
dialogue. I would love to do that. All right. All right.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Well, thank
Thanks.
you guys for turning into a mother's heart. If you would like to be on the podcast or be a sponsor, we would love to have you. All the information is on the website. Is that right, DLS?
That's right.
All right. Do you have anything, DLS?
I'm good.
You good? We can take it home. Thank you
All right.
again,
Thank you.
Rickie
Appreciate it.
Clark.
All
And
right.
oh my God, like yeah.
Yeah.
We had good dialogue today.
Good dialogue.
Yes.
Love y'all.
Love
See you
you.
later.
Thank you for joining.
All
Till
right.
next time.
All
Bye
right.
bye.